Hey there, Starfield fans. Today we're going to be taking a look at Captain Taggart's newest ship. He recently acquired and refit Mantis's Razorleaf, and I think he did a pretty decent job with it. I'm quite proud of it. It's almost exclusively Maroon Sev parts used to make this ship. A couple parts retained from the original Mantis. Here are some of the required mods. You can pause to read. You got the build guide starting at 47 seconds, walkthrough at 12:02, and combat footage at 13:48. So here we have most of the parts scattered about. I left the halves and one side of the structural pieces intact, so I wouldn't screw it up putting it back together. But I would recommend starting with the halves and going from there. This engine back into place and dive in. So we're going to start with this Deimos control station. Behind that, a Deimos armory. And then Deimos captain quarters upstairs with a Crimson Fleet armory off the back of that. And in here we have a ladder, door, and another door. Place your own doors mod is quite handy, but it is a little tedious sometimes placing all the doors and whatnot, but it is totally worth it. So we're going to put this weapon mount with these two Vanguard Hellfires on the Crimson Fleet armory, and then this Maroon Sev equipment plate, which is just there for aesthetic reasons, on the side there. Now, you're basically going to duplicate everything I'm going to show you on this blank side on the other side. So here you can see there's two other cannons over there. So yeah, just duplicate what I show you for this side for the other side. So now we're going to show you the micro modules I use from the Star Wars ships. We got cargo, and then in the 200 crew slot, the big X-Wing shield generator, the Avon Tech docker, and a weapon mount with Metallegia Aerospace shield boosters attached. The shield boosters are completely optional. I like to use them because I use the big X-Wing C-Class reactor, which gives you 139 power. So with all that extra power, I use those shield boosters to raise up my max shields. So using the control station, you're going to snap all these small items, including the docker, to the front snapping top of the control station, and bring that back to where it was. And all that stuff is going to remain hidden under the decorative structure. Now for the weapons and the cockpit, now I've got all the weapons, not all the weapons, but multiple weapons attached to the cockpit. Normally on this cockpit you can only have two, one up top, one on the bottom. But I've got two of these Bad Tech pulse lasers attached to it, but I've also got three of those Bad Tech long-necked cannons there. I missed their name there, but basically what you do is you duplicate your cockpits and then attach the weapons you want to each cockpit, and then you can use a hab or a structural piece to snap those cockpits together. Once those cockpits are snapped together, you can't have more than one cockpit, so the weapons will stay attached to one of them, and the duplicates will remain behind. So move the one cockpit with the weapon away, and then delete the duplicates. And that's what I did here. And that's how you can mash more than one weapon onto a single snapping point. Attach the cockpit to the control station, which you don't need to build your own door for cockpits, dockers, and landing bays. Now, going off of the front of the shield generator under there, we're going to put these four pieces which are completely optional. I chose to put them there because of aesthetic reasons on the outside of the ship. If you don't like things clipping through your halves, then you're not going to want to put these 4 pieces there because it will obstruct most of the cockpit and part of the control station. However, you still get a good first-person view. It doesn't block the first-person view. And I really like how the ribs of that Varun said sensor array sit on top of the cockpit. Now we're going to grab the Bad Tech anti-gravity landing bay and put that underneath the rear of the control station because we want that lined up with the ladder that we have centrally placed in the ship. Off the bottom, we're going to do another sensor array, some micro module frames, cowling aft, Varun cowling aft, and a couple Varuns have equipment plates, which there's 2 on the other side that are already in place. You're going to take those and put it just like so that the first micro module frame is around the landing bay. Then you're going to take those 2 micro module landing bays, micro module frames, to attach these Bad Tech wings, which also have the other weapons on them. Another Hellfire cannon and pulse laser. You're going to use those to snap them into place right there. That way you can have the equipment plate and the wings attached to the bottom of the ship. Now for the side wings, these are actually really easy. Varun wing port. One goes there. This one goes there. This one goes there. And this one goes there. Pretty simple. As long as you have the mods that let you snap things and merge things together like that. Now we're going to take a look at the engines. And this here is the first time I've used this piece, but this is the Gillibrand Special Door Snap 4 aft 75% tall. Now it's got 5 snapping points on the front of it and 5 on the rear of it. So you got to be careful with how you place it on your ship, because if you're not careful, it might not snap to where you want it to. But I have 4 of these Amun Dun X300 engines. I'll snap to the 4 outer snapping points of that Gillibrand piece. And the bottom, see that bottom circle on the Gillibrand piece? That's the part that's going to snap to the back of the Crimson Fleet Armory. You're going to want to see a little half circle of the center of that piece sticking out, just like that, to get the rear of the ship to kind of look right from the side, how the engine's positioned in the right way. And with all those extra snapping points in there, it's easy to mess things up. So now we're going to grab some of these other Varun structural pieces and put them in here. Grab the armory. Snap this to the armory. And snap one of these up here. Grab all of those. And put it in place back where it was. We've got a couple more here with the reactor attached to it. We're going to hide the reactor in the top structural pieces using these. So we're going to pull this pointy piece off of here, put the bottom on there, put the pointy piece back, which the pointy piece is going to be mostly hidden anyways, but I still like the few pieces that are visible. We're going to grab this sensor array, cowling. Here's the grav drive, the Varun Sev grav drive. Some of these Bad Tech comm spikes, just for some spikiness. Put that. With the reactor there, you're going to have trouble snapping that there. So you can put that there, and that will snap back to the one that was underneath it. You've got the engine bracer and these Ares DT60 engines that are from the vanilla Razorleaf. I'm going to bring these over. So the grav drive is going to go on top of the armory and the back of the captain's quarters. Piece is going to go there. That sensor array is going to go right there. And then grab all these. You're going to have a little trouble snapping where you want it on here. So pull out the grab drive. Use that to snap it in place. Now we can do the rest of the structure of the side of it to hide the weapons. Got a couple of these cowlings. Then some Varunsev DL fuel tanks, top and bottom. Those go around the engine struts there. Then the DWS cowlings have those little thrusters on them that actually light up when you accelerate. The bottom variants don't have any thrusters, it's only the tops. So I'm cycling through all those. So you're going to place those right there. And that's pretty much going to do it. You can see we're nominal, bottom right corner. Yeah, that's pretty much how it's put together. It took me a lot longer in real time when I first put it together to end up with the final look, and I had 3 or 4 drafts of it before I was happy with it. And yeah, had a build guide request on Facebook, so there it is. So from here I'm just gonna shut up and well, actually no, I'm gonna do the walkthrough real quick. It won't take long. You come in the landing bay, and there's a control station. Behind that is the armory. Upstairs is the captain's quarters.
Hello.
Off that is the Crimson Fleet armory. Now, if you don't have the Crimson Fleet habs, you can use like a storeroom there, or just have some kind of random structural piece and not have anything there. So this is the part where if you don't like things clipping through your ship, you're going to hate it. I personally have come to terms with it for the sake of how things look on the outside. You do get a cool look at the sensor array from the Varunsev mod though, how it spins. But you'll see in first person you have an unobstructed view, which is key if you're into a first person experience. Now we're going to take off and look for some bad guys. So now I'm going to shut up. Hope you enjoy the rest of the video. If you end up building this version of the Razorleaf or something like it or whatever, I'm in a few different shipbuilding groups on Facebook for STARFIELD, so I'm sure you can find one of those groups, post it there so we can all see it. See you next time.